Story 1: The Echoes of Desolation. From the moment I stepped into the asylum's shadows, I could feel a chill gnawing at my courage. The derelict hallways whispered secrets, their whispers piercing the oppressive silence. Each step resonated, a hollow sound amplified by the echoes of the tormented souls who once inhabited this dreaded place. As I moved deeper, the air thickened with dread. Rusted wheelchairs and shattered glass littered the floor, haunting remnants of forgotten lives. Time seemed to warp, each second stretching into eternity as the shadows danced mockingly around me, their sinister shapes teasing my imagination. A distant cry shattered the silence, its mournful tone chilling my spine. My flashlight flickered, revealing fleeting glimpses of ghostly apparitions haunting the periphery of my vision. Faces twisted in anguish appeared in the shadows, recounting tales of horror that echoed through time. The walls felt alive, closing in as a growing sense of urgency engulfed me. My heartbeat thundered in my ears, desperation mounting with every breath. The asylum now felt like a living entity, feeding off my fear as I stumbled towards the exit, driven by an overwhelming instinct to survive. Story 2: The Ominous Fortune. It was an ordinary evening when curiosity led me to the fortune-teller's door. The air was thick with mystery. A dark foreboding stirred within me as I entered, the room enveloped in heavy drapes. Her presence was unsettling, yet intriguing, a beginning to a tale I'll never forget. Seated across the table, her eyes locked with mine, seemingly unraveling my deepest secrets. Her words were chilling, eerily precise. Personal details flowed from her lips, details only I knew. Each revelation felt like a thread unraveling my sense of reality, casting shadows on the certainty of my life. Each prophecy intensified the pounding in my chest. Her ancient eyes seemed to see through me, piercing the veil of time. With every sentence, the gap between destiny and free will closed, wrapping me in unease. Was my future pre-written? Chills ran down my spine at the thought. As I left, her final words echoed in my mind like a lingering ghost. The atmosphere around me felt different, charged with a newfound awareness. Night fell heavy, bringing not just darkness, but a haunting realization that the encounter held truths more ominous than anticipated. Story 3: The Strangest Airbnb Experience. I booked a quaint Airbnb cabin for a weekend retreat, just a cozy spot in the woods. The hosts, a middle-aged couple named Greg and Susan, greeted me warmly. They seemed sweet, maybe a little overly attentive, but I chalked it up to their eagerness to impress. The first night was peaceful. By the second night, though, things got weird. I noticed Susan watching me from the kitchen window as I relaxed on the porch. When I waved, she didn't wave back, just stood there, staring. Later, Greg knocked on my door, offering fresh cookies. I politely declined, but he insisted. Something about his smile didn't sit right. That night, I heard footsteps outside my window and muffled whispers. My gut told me to leave. As I packed, I found a note slipped under my door. "Stay the night. We have big plans for you." I fled, leaving my things behind. A week later, their listing was gone. Story 4: The Graveyard Keeper. One chilly October evening, I decided to explore the old cemetery on the edge of town. I had heard stories about its eerie beauty and thought it would be perfect for some moody photographs. The place was empty except for the faint rustling of leaves and the occasional crow cawing in the distance. As I wandered among the weathered headstones, I noticed a man digging near the far end of the cemetery. He was wiry, with a tattered jacket and a face that seemed more shadow than skin. Late for this kind of work, I joked, trying to ease my own nerves. He looked up, his eyes unnaturally dark. "The dead don't wait," he replied, his voice gravelly and cold. I felt an urge to leave, but curiosity kept me rooted. He began whistling, a haunting off-key tune, and I swear the air around me grew colder. When I finally turned to leave, I heard him say, See you real soon. I didn't look back. Story 5. The Man at the Table. Last night I had the most unsettling dream I've ever experienced. At first it felt normal, almost mundane. I was in an unfamiliar dining room, dimly lit by a flickering candle. The table was long, its dark wood scratched and splintered. Everything seemed off, but not immediately frightening, just eerie, like I wasn't supposed to be there. Then I saw him. A man sat at the head of the table. His face was pale, his eyes sunken and hollow. He didn't say anything, just stared at me while slowly chewing on something. I couldn't see what he was eating at first, but the smell hit me a putrid, sour stench that made my stomach churn. As I stepped closer, I realized the plates in front of him were piled with rotting food. Moldy bread, meat crawling with maggots. He ate it methodically, his dead eyes locked on mine the entire time. I wanted to leave, but I couldn't move. Suddenly, he stopped chewing. He smiled a horrible, decayed grin and pushed a plate toward me. "Your turn," he whispered. I woke up gasping, drenched in sweat. But what haunts me most is the smell. It still lingered in my room, faint but unmistakable. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps us out. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Tap the bell to stay notified whenever we post a new video. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.